guys, welcome back to Haywire Homestead. So today we're in the kitchen. We're working with apples again because we have lots and lots of apples that we picked up at the orchard the other day. And we're making applesauce, but we're also trying to make apple jelly using the peels and the cores. Something I haven't done before, so I did a little bit of research. And I'm going to show you how I'm doing it, and hopefully it turns out okay. I took all of the peelings and the cores and all and put them in a pan. You want to use a non-reactive pan, so I mean non-stick is okay. Stainless steel, you don't want to use cast iron or aluminum. And then you're going to add water just to where they're almost covered, and then you're going to turn it on and let it simmer for about 20-25 minutes. You can also add a cinnamon stick, and we added a couple of tablespoons of lemon juice, and we're just going to keep letting this cook down. We've got about 10 more minutes to go. You're wanting the peels and everything just to be really mushy. And then we've got the applesauce going over here. The other thing I also did was I added a cinnamon stick. I don't know where it is in here, but there is a cinnamon stick in there as well. So it's actually a cinnamon apple jelly. Once this is cooked down really well, we're going to strain it using a mesh strainer. And once we've strained it and gotten all the good yummy juice out of there, we'll put the juice back on to boil, add some sugar, and condense it a little bit. We're not using any pectin. This is just the old-fashioned recipe that they would have done a long time ago where you wouldn't have used pectin. And the apples already have pectin, so as you're boiling it and condensing it, you're pulling all the pectin out of the peels and the cores and everything. So we'll be back in just a few minutes and show you how it looks once it's simmered a good bit. Also, when I was looking, it says you're looking for a really dark golden liquid. So it's getting there. Okay, so we have let it simmer for about 30-35 minutes. The apples have gotten really nice and soft. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get ready to strain it out using mesh strainer. And I've got a bowl here. Not sure how much liquid I've got in there at this point, so I did grab an extra bowl. And I'm gonna go ahead and start to carefully dump that. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and pour it off. Be careful, it will splash. And like I predicted, I probably was going to need that second bowl. Oh dear. Okay, so if you look, this is what you're wanting, is that nice dark brown golden liquid. I'm going to finish straining that out and put it back on the stove to simmer a little bit longer and just condense down, and we've got to we have to measure our liquid, add the sugar, and then put it back on the stove and let it simmer for a little bit more. The thing I forgot to mention is they also tell you to just kind of let it sit, and you can press down on it with a spoon to help smush more of the liquid out of it, and then actually just let this sit. The other thing you can do is you could use like the flour cloth towels. You could use those, or one lady actually suggested just using a clean white pillowcase. You can pick those probably at the dollar store and have a couple of those on hand. So that way you can take this. The lady with the pillowcase actually takes hers and hangs it up above the bowl to let it drain, kind of like you would do when you're doing cheese. So we're just going to let this sit so we can hopefully get all of that yummy goodness out. Then we'll measure the liquid so we know how much sugar that we're going to need to add to the jelly. So for every 4 cups of juice, our Ball Blue cookbook and canning book, recommends for every 4 cups of juice that you do 3 cups of sugar. So we have about 10 cups here, so we're going to need, what, 6, 7.5 cups, I think, if I did my math correctly. And we're going to add that into the juice, and then we're going to let it simmer. What we're looking for is, with a candy thermometer, you're looking for about 220 degrees. Once it reaches that, that is almost like what we call the gelling point. You can also use the trick that's suggested in the Ball cookbook, where you take and you dip a spoon into it, and you're looking for how it's gelling on the spoon. If it's slipping right off, or it's starting to hang on the spoon. If it does, then it's also ready if you don't have a candy thermometer. So I'm going to go ahead and add the sugar, let it simmer, and get it up to temperature so we can put it in some jars.
Okay, so it has been simmering for quite a while. I didn't anticipate quite how long this was going to take. You can see that it's actually reduced a lot, but it's reached proper temperature. So we're now going to place it in half-pint jars and place it in a water bath for 10 minutes for half pints. So you're supposed to leave a 1/4 inch headspace. And then we'll wipe the rim, make sure it's clean because we don't want anything on it in order to impede the sealing process. And we'll fill the rest of our jars up. Okay, so here is a jar of my attempt at an apple jelly using the peels and cores. It did not set up. It's very thick. So I guess we have an apple syrup. So it is definitely not going to be wasted. So we have several jars, 2, 4, 7 half pints of an apple syrup. But we're trying again. So right now I forgot that I actually had this nifty tool in my garage. So we are letting the apples drain, the apple stuff drain. And we're going to attempt to make it again. And I went out and bought a candy thermometer because apparently mine was broken. So I had to use the spoon method, and apparently I didn't do a very good job. So I went out and bought a new candy thermometer so that way I can make sure I get it up to the correct temperature this time. And hopefully we'll get it to set. Okay, so after we did batch 2 and did it using the candy thermometer, it did not set. So while this was an actual apple jelly fail, we have plenty of apple syrup. I think I might just have to go back to using pectin. If there's anyone out there that's done the no pectin method and would love to give me some tips and tricks, I would really appreciate it. It'd be wonderful. Because I'm not quite sure what I did wrong, but obviously I missed something, didn't cook it long enough. I definitely did the heat right because I did the temperature. I made sure that I used a thermometer this last time. And actually it looks like, oh, we have one that also did not seal. So this one will go in the refrigerator, and the rest of these we'll just keep them and the kids can use them. I'm sure it'd be really good on ice cream or pancakes, waffles, even though we don't eat a whole lot of those here. I'm sure we'll find a use for it and probably make a good gift as well. But we're going to call this a no pectin apple jelly fail today. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and y'all have a good one.